Welcome to Wrestle Report, Value of Wrestling's place to talk about other promotions like Ring of Honor, Major League Wrestling, or the National Wrestling Alliance. On this episode we're reviewing MLW Fusion from October 5, 2023. It's MLW time once again, folks, and the outlook is starting to brighten a bit. After a significant slump over the past few weeks, the last couple of episodes have hinted at a positive turnaround. With Slaughterhouse on the horizon, it's crucial to build some momentum, and hopefully, things will continue to pick up after the recent lull and reset a few months ago. Tonight, we're continuing with matches from the Fury Road tapings. Alex Kane will be in action, the Second Gear Crew's feud with The Calling will heat up, and we can expect some interesting promos and interviews. The commentary team sets the stage for tonight's show. The action starts immediately with a brawl on the arena floor. Mance Warner has joined the commentary team. Weapons find their way into the ring, and there's a brief moment where Cannonball rakes Justice's eyes before everyone enters the ring, and the match officially begins. Match number 1, Tornado Tag Team Match. Second Gear Crew, one called Manders and Matthew Justice, with Mance Warner vs. The Calling, Talon and Cannonball. Talon and Cannonball miss chair shots, allowing Manders and Justice to launch corner attacks. Justice then wraps a chair around Cannonball's head and smacks it with another chair, hung up there. Talon is thrown into Cannonball, who no-sells it and delivers a double clothesline. Cannonball slams Talon onto Manders, then suplexes him onto Justice. Cannonball sets up a chair and executes a hanging anarchist suplex on Manders onto the chair, which collapses under the impact. Talon follows up with a corner dropkick to Justice and then to Manders. The action is briefly cut. It doesn't seem like much was missed during the cut. However, two chairs are set up, and Justice and Manders are seated in them. When Cannonball attempts to slam Talon onto them, they move, and Talon crashes into a chair. Justice and Manders pummel Cannonball with chair shots for a while. Manders picks up Talon and slams him into Cannonball, followed by a spear and a lariat to Talon. Cannonball splashes onto the pile of pin attempts to break them up. Cannonball hits Manders with a chair and executes a Tiger Driver, 91, albeit a sloppy one. Manders still kicks out at 2 because the match is intense. Justice returns with a chair, knocking Cannonball out of the ring with it, and then dives onto him. Talon eats a lariat from Manders, followed by Justice's top rope splash for the pin. Winners. Second Gear Crew, in 4:57. Manders and Justice celebrate after the match, with Mance joining them as they head backstage. Doug is strumming a guitar and singing poorly. Sam Laterna asks him about it, but Doug is interrupted by Jacob Fatu, who claims Doug has the voice of an angel, which is quite surprising given Fatu's history of head trauma. We get a recap of Tony Deppen and TJ Crawford forming an alliance last week. Deppen explains that he came to MLW for the money, with little regard for the product, the fans, or anything else. However, he saw someone who reminded him of his younger self in TJ Crawford. TJ is pleased that they took out Kevin Blackwood and discusses how they both recently returned from injury. They're determined to dominate MLW at any cost, delivering a somewhat generic promo. Mr. Saint Laurent is interviewed backstage by Sam Laterna, discussing last week's exposé that didn't reveal much. MSL dismisses it as a hit piece and claims to be a legitimate businessman, stating that he deserves a cut from anyone he signs. He threatens a lawsuit and promises to make anyone who signs with him a superstar, pointing out MLW's business relationship with Don King to support his case. Next, we revisit MLW's revival in 2017 in a replay of the main event match between Shane, Swerve, Strickland and Ricochet from that event. Match number 2, 2017 replay. Swerve Strickland vs. Ricochet. The match begins with slow circling and a tie-up. Ricochet forces Swerve into a corner but grants a clean break. Swerve goes for a hammerlock and forces Ricochet into the corner, offering his own clean break. Ricochet holds the ropes open, jumping back into the ring after Swerve, showcasing one-upmanship. Ricochet executes a quick takedown into a modified Indian deathlock and transitions into a reverse bow and arrow hold. Swerve fights free with finger manipulation, switching to a biceps crusher. Swerve applies an omoplata, but Ricochet rolls free, escaping an arm wringer with a single leg takedown. Ricochet ties up Swerve's legs and rolls into a front headlock. Swerve breaks free but takes some strikes from Ricochet, responding with a chop. They have a face-off, refusing to be intimidated by each other. Ricochet resumes striking, taking Swerve into a side headlock, and they continue exchanging strikes. Ricochet seems to have the upper hand as they trade punches, kicks, and chops. Both men land simultaneous right hands multiple times before Ricochet hits a German suplex. Ricochet climbs the ropes, but Swerve palm strikes him and delivers a kick to the head. Swerve joins Ricochet on the ropes, attempting a superplex, but Ricochet fights him off. Ricochet considers an avalanche tombstone piledriver, but Swerve escapes, lands kicks, and hits a springboard double stomp for a 2 count. Ricochet avoids a JML driver, and Swerve avoids a Benadryler in an exciting sequence. Ricochet rolls into the ropes to avoid a butt-scooting Swerve, leading to a referee-enforced reset. Swerve lands a right hand and continues with strikes, but Ricochet kicks him out of the corner and tries a dropkick, with Swerve jumping and catching him in an armbar. Swerve grounds Ricochet, wrenching his arm and snapping it backward with a stomp. Swerve keeps up the arm work, applying a Rings of Saturn variation, and Ricochet has to reach the ropes to break the hold. Ricochet attempts a comeback, but Swerve has the upper hand, punching him down and stomping on the arm. Ricochet bounces off the ropes, hitting a shotgun dropkick to regain momentum. Swerve fights off a reverse suplex and lands a kick before tripping Ricochet and hitting a springboard double stomp for a 2 count. Ricochet avoids a JML driver, counter with a victory roll for a 2 count, and the match continues with striking exchanges. Kicks go back and forth before Swerve delivers a knee kick and a modified Swerve kick. It may not be his finisher yet, but Ricochet catches him coming off the ropes with a lariat, and both men are down. They slowly get up, resuming their strike exchange. Ricochet appears to have more energy in the tank as he gains the upper hand. Both men land simultaneous rights a few times before Ricochet hits a German suplex. Ricochet climbs to the top rope, aiming for a shooting star press, but Swerve avoids him and hits a running dropkick. Ricochet sidesteps a lariat and lands an enziguri, followed by a vertigo driver for another near fall. Ricochet goes back up top, attempting a 450 splash, but it's only a near fall. Ricochet climbs once more, looking for a shooting star press, but Swerve dodges it, landing a running dropkick. Ricochet avoids a lariat and hits a back suplex into an armbar, but Ricochet quickly escapes, and Swerve grabs a rolling short arm scissor. Ricochet can't reach the ropes this time, and when he tries to roll through, Swerve wrenches his arm behind his head, forcing Ricochet to tap out. Winner: Swerve Strickland, in 24-10. Next, we have an interview backstage with Alex Kane and Mr. Thomas. Kane humorously mentions sending his opponent to Ho Island. Despite the rehearsed and artificial feel, Kane still exudes confidence. Selena de la Renta is in Mexico City, discussing plans to unite MLW and CMLL. However, she hints that Court Bauer will have to pay a price for this alliance. An update on Slaughterhouse is provided, with a title-for-title match announced between Rocky Romero and Akira, putting Romero's historic title on the line against Akira's middleweight title. The Calling shares a video, vowing to disrupt Selena's plans, with Akira emphasizing his dedication to the slaughter, and threatening to make Rocky truly need that eye patch. It's time for the main event, and Mr. Saint Laurent comes out to introduce Gene Snitsky as Alex Kane's opponent. Match number 3. Alex Kane with Mr. Thomas and Jay Boji vs. Gene Snitsky. Snitsky sits in the corner, seemingly unimpressed by Kane and his associates' antics. Both wrestlers strike poses, but Kane looks rather ordinary in size compared to Snitsky. Kane executes a throw, but Snitsky quickly counters with an elbow strike. Kane responds with a German suplex and some corner strikes. Another German suplex from Kane, followed by a cut in the action. It appears that not much was missed during the cut. Snitsky easily lifts Kane and slams him. Snitsky delivers an elbow drop and another for a 2 count. Snitsky performs a scoop slam and decides to climb the ropes, missing a somersault senton, as expected. Kane capitalizes by locking in the fade to black, causing Snitsky to tap out. Winner: Alex Kane, in 4:32. Kane and his associates celebrate after the match to close out the episode. Since that concludes the show, remember, for more content, remember to check out Value of Wrestling on YouTube, where the flagship show, the Weekly Roundup podcast, Sundays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, along with various breaking news, shorts, and rants, are constantly being broadcast for your consumption.